399 BC Athens, the most famous city in the ancient world, puts a man on trial. Not for murder, not for treason, for thinking. They give him a cup of tea to die. And for 2,400 years, we called it philosophy. Today, we call it what it actually was. Every philosophy class teaches you the same story. Socrates, wise old man, sandals, maybe ugly, walks into court, refuses to grovel, and drinks hemlock like a legend. Beautiful story. Terrible history. Because here's what that story leaves out. This wasn't a courtroom drama. It was a political hit job, and the murder weapon grew wild in a Greek field. Before we talk about Socrates, we need to talk about Athens in 399 BC, because the city executing him wasn't the golden democracy you were sold. It was a city traumatized. Just 5 years earlier, Athens had lost a catastrophic 27-year war with Sparta. The democratic government had been overthrown twice. A brutal junta called the 30 Tyrants had murdered roughly 1,500 Athenians in under a year. And Socrates, several of his closest associates, were members. So when the trial begins, it's not really about him, it's about settling scores. The official charges were two: corrupting the youth and failing gods. Vague. Deliberately vague. Because in Athenian law, vague charges were a feature, not a bug. They gave juries room to convict on feeling rather than fact. And the jury wasn't 12 people. It was 501 citizens. 501 people voting on whether one man should live or die. He lost by roughly 60 votes. But here's where it gets darker. Athenian law gave the convicted the right to propose an alternative sentence. Socrates could have suggested exile, banishment, a fine. He would have walked out of that courtroom. Instead, he proposed a stay to reward him with meals. Some call this courage, others call it political suicide. Socrates understood the game being played, and he refused to play it. Now let's talk about hemlock. Conium. It looks like wild carrot. It smells faintly of mice, and it kills with terrifying precision. The active compound is conine, a neurotoxin that works from the bottom up. First, your legs go numb, then your torso, then your lungs stop. Your mind stays perfectly clear the entire time. That's not an accident. That's a choice. Athens had other execution methods, deus et te, but for important citizens, hemlock was the sanitized option. It looked peaceful. You could watch a man die and tell yourself it was almost humane. The dose mattered enormously. Too little and you survive in agony. Too much and you convulse. The preparer had to know exactly what they were doing. David painted Socrates reaching for the cup like a saint. Beautiful composition. Complete propaganda. Plato describes something far less cinematic. Socrates walking around until his legs grew heavy. Lying. Dune. A prison official pressing his foot to check for sensation. Mundane. Bureaucratic. So if it wasn't about him, what was it about? Socrates had spent decades publicly demonstrating that powerful Athenians didn't actually know anything. Generals who didn't understand courage. Poets who couldn't explain their poems. In a city rebuilding after military humiliation, it was but the personal connections were the real issue. Two names. Alcibiades, the ultimate political opportunist, and Critias, the most violent leader of the junta. Both were students of Socrates. The prosecution charged him with creating the kind of person who commits those crimes. Corrupting the youth. The hemlock wasn't just silencing a philosopher. It was the state sending a message. Dissent has a price, and we've made the killing look civilized. Athens was a democracy, and that democracy chose, by a majority vote, to kill history's greatest thinker. Because they were scared of instability, scared of a man who made them feel stupid in public. The hemlock was precise. The politics were messier. Some things don't change. If this kind of history is your thing, subscribe. Next week, the real reason Julius Caesar was killed had everything to do with grain.